it away. Here's Bellingham. Oh!
And who else was it going to be? Jude Bellingham!
From no interest in football at all, to Birmingham's youngest scorer, captain in Dortmund, and scoring England's first goal at the World Cup. This youngster has earned his breathtaking valuation. And although there's been some controversial problems, it's an inspirational story that many can only dream of, because this is the epic rise of Jude Bellingham. Born on June 29, 2003, Bellingham comes from a family deeply rooted in football. His father, Mark, is a celebrated figure in non-league football, boasting a remarkable record of over 600 goals, and his younger brother plays for Birmingham City. Now, surprisingly, Jude wasn't remotely interested in football as a youngster. During his father's matches, he was more interested in picking grass on the sidelines. His mother even said that Jude would often just throw the ball back at you when given one.
I didn't seem to be interested in football at all. If you gave him a ball, he'd throw it, didn't really want to kick it, so...
However, things shifted dramatically when Jude turned 6. In a recent interview, he attributed his change in attention to alternate games that were often set up before training. Although football suddenly captured his heart, quickly turning into an intense passion. By 8 years old, while playing for his local team, Stourbridge, his talents caught the eye of a Birmingham City scout, leading him to their academy. Mike Dodds, one of his initial coaches at Birmingham, observed Jude as a promising player, although nothing extraordinary at first. However, as Jude began playing for the under-10s, his exceptional ability started to shine. His prolific goal scoring soon made it clear to the Birmingham staff he was going to be something extraordinary. But then came a dilemma. Despite outgrowing his age group rapidly, Jude was extremely reluctant to leave his peers. It was more to him than just a game, it was a social event too. So the staff devised a unique solution. As the matches between the different groups were often being played simultaneously, they would get Jude to play in one half with the under-10s and the other with under-11s. It was a strange setup, but it worked. In one remarkable game, Jude scored an astounding 15 goals for the under-10s before moving on to the under-11s and scoring again. This pivotal moment solidified the decision to move him up to the under-11s permanently. Jude objected to it at the time, although later he admitted that it was the right choice.
And even then after that, it was like training was still not as enjoyable, but as time went on, I just got used to the group of players and then just started enjoying it all over again, really.
It marked a point of acceleration in Jude's career because this epic rise was only just heating up.
Watch me go, never slow, make 'em whoa. Watch me go, watch me go.
Early in 2016, Bellingham's exceptional talent was being tracked closely. A year later, age 14, he was challenging players that were 4 years his senior in the under-18s category. This rapid progression was a clear indicator of his future potential. At 15, Jude advanced to the under-23s, where he was reunited with his former coach, Mike Dodds. And the reunion proved fruitful, with Dodds playing a pivotal role in further honing Jude's skills and significantly boosting his confidence. Under Dodds' guidance, Jude's game improved markedly. Jude himself has credited Dodds numerous times for his role in his life. Now, Jude's performances with the under-23s were nothing short of impressive, clearly signalling his readiness for the first team despite his young age. During the pre-season of 1920, he participated in friendly matches where his outstanding play caught the attention of the head coach. He was convinced of Jude's ability to be a regular member on the first team. It was a significant milestone in Jude Bellingham's journey as he transitioned from promising young talent to central component in Birmingham City's first team. He had just set the stage for a record-breaking chapter in his career at just 16 years old. As the season commenced, Jude Bellingham etched his name into Birmingham City's history as the youngest ever first-team player. It was solidified during a match against Portsmouth, with Jude being just 16 years and 38 days old. On August 31st, he made his home debut against Stoke City. After entering the game as a substitute for the injured Jefferson Montero, Birmingham had found themselves at a 1-1 deadlock. In a dramatic turn, Jude scored a late goal. securing a win for Birmingham and becoming the club's youngest ever goalscorer at 16 years and 63 days old. Throughout the season, Jude primarily made his appearances as a substitute but still managed to capture the EFL Young Player of the Month award in November 19. Then, his growing talent caught the attention of Manchester United, who made a substantial £20 million offer during the winter transfer window. Recognising his value, Birmingham declined the offer as Jude continued to shine on the first team. The delayed season saw Jude amass 44 appearances, scoring 4 goals and providing 2 assists, and while these numbers might seem modest at first glance, they're quite impressive when you consider he was only 16 years old. That year, his performances earned him the accolade of Championship Apprentice of the Year and EFL Young Player of the Season. Next, faced with transfer decisions, Bellingham had to choose between Manchester United and Dortmund. Dortmund's reputation for nurturing young talent, exemplified by players like Jadon Sancho, swayed his decision. It marked a new chapter in Jude Bellingham's career as he opted for a path that promised significant first-team involvement and continued development at the highest possible level.
Welcome to the Bundesliga's biggest stadium for the Bundesliga's biggest derby.
Jude Bellingham's transfer to Borussia Dortmund for £25 million set a new benchmark, making him the most expensive 17-year-old in football history. This debut with Dortmund was nothing short of spectacular. At just 17 years and 77 days old, he scored in a 5-0 win against Duisburg in the DFL Pokal Cup. This also made him the competition's youngest goalscorer. His Bundesliga debut followed shortly after, where he assisted Rainer's goal in a 3-0 victory over Mönchengladbach. This earned him Bundesliga's Rookie of the Month for September. That same month, Bellingham also made his Champions League debut, breaking Phil Foden's record to become the youngest Englishman to start a match in the competition.
Welcome back to football as it's meant to be.
During the 2021 season, Bellingham quickly became a regular for Dortmund. His performance in the Champions League quarter-finals against Manchester City was particularly noteworthy. He assisted Marco Reus in the first leg and scored his debut Champions League goal in the second, though Dortmund was eventually knocked out. Bellingham achieved his first Bundesliga goal in a 3-2 win against Stuttgart and played a key role in Dortmund's 4-1 victory over RB Leipzig in the DFB Pokal Cup final, securing his first professional trophy. In his inaugural season with Dortmund, he tallied 4 goals and 4 assists across 46 games, leading him to being named the newcomer of the season. The 21-22 campaign saw a significant improvement in Bellingham's performances once more. With 6 goals and 14 assists in 44 games, it was a substantial increase in contributions compared to his previous season, although sadly, despite his personal successes, Dortmund faced challenges, being knocked out early in the Champions League and falling short in the Bundesliga race. And while the season didn't yield significant team success for Dortmund, Bellingham's individual performance was impressive, highlighting his growth and adaptation into the Bundesliga. His journey at Dortmund continued to be one of personal triumph amidst team challenges, establishing him as a key player for the club and a rising star in the world of football. However, controversy was just around the corner. In a heated Bundesliga clash against Bayern Munich, Dortmund lost due to a controversial penalty awarded by referee Felix Zweier, a figure previously involved in the 2005 match-fixing scandal. Tensions were further compounded by a denial of 2 penalty appeals for Dortmund. Post-match, Bellingham openly questioned the decision to appoint Zweier for such a high-profile game, given his past.
You can look at a lot of the decisions in the game, you give a referee that's match fixed before the biggest game in Germany. What do you expect?
It was a sharp lesson for Jude, as his comments landed him a €40,000 fine from the German FA. Despite the fine, Bellingham continued to voice his opinions on refereeing decisions, albeit more cautiously. After a controversial penalty decision in the Champions League game against Chelsea, Bellingham restrained himself, alluding to Mourinho's famous quote.
Prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
By this point, Bellingham's consistent performances had caught the attention of England manager Gareth Southgate, leading to his selection for the 2022 World Cup. At just 19 years old, it was a wild achievement, but this rise was about to get even better. Jude Bellingham's performance at the World Cup was nothing short of impressive. He made a significant impact when he scored the opening goal against Iran in England's first game of the tournament. The achievement made him the second youngest scorer for England in a World Cup. Additionally, in the round of 16 match against Senegal, Bellingham set up a brilliant assist for Jordan Henderson, contributing to England's decisive 3-0 victory. Now, despite England's overall performance not meeting expectations, Bellingham emerged as a pivotal member of the squad, even as the youngest. Moving to the 22-23 season with Dortmund, Bellingham continued to excel, scoring 14 goals and providing 7 assists in 42 games, a slight improvement from his contribution from the previous season. However, his standout achievement wasn't just his on-field performance. This season saw him captain Dortmund on several occasions, showing remarkable leadership skills at such a young age. Bayern Munich stumbled late in the season against Leipzig, leaving Dortmund a prime opportunity to clinch the Bundesliga title. All they needed was a victory over Mainz to make history. However, in a twist of fate, Dortmund found themselves trailing by 2 goals early on in the match and could only manage a draw. For Bellingham, it was potentially his last chance to secure the Bundesliga title with Dortmund. The season's climax was emblematic of Dortmund's reoccurring struggles, often coming close but not quite securing a major title. Bellingham's personal growth and contributions, however, remained a silver lining in an otherwise challenging season. Now, at just 20 years old, Jude Bellingham's epic rise doesn't appear to be over yet. Far from it. With 10 goals from 11 appearances in La Liga and 3 out of 3 from Champions League this season, he has the world at his feet. With the Euros around the corner and World Cup in 2026, there's no doubt we'll be seeing a lot more of this midfielder. He's talented, mature and has a solid support network of fans, coaches and family behind him. Unlike the brutal history behind this next superstar's story, check it out now.